Three treasures. Today we're looking at Qi. This is for students only. Please pause and read. The character for Qi shows vapours. This is the original part of the character, and then inside grains of rice. So it means originally vapours or breaths, gas or air, came to mean the nature of something that could be seen through its action on other things rather than physically visible itself. In philosophy, it's a unifying force that unites and connects all things, the fabric that runs through everything. So, for example, heavenly Qi, Tian Qi is the weather. To engender Qi is anger. The flavour of Qi is vitality or aroma. The nature of the Qi of a guest is good manners. Damp Qi is environmental dampness. So we could say in a human the difference between being alive and being dead is whether there's Qi or not. The idea of cultivating Qi meditatively goes right back in history. It's talked about in Lao Tzu, focusing on the Qi and arriving at softness. Dodecagonal jade block that had an inscription of 45 characters called Moving Qi that talked you through the process of from breathing deeply through to reconnecting with heaven and earth. The Neye was a Qi cultivation text from about 350 BC that described processes for cultivating your Qi. In philosophy, Confucius talked about guarding your Qi and blood, and he reckoned on doing this by moderating sex when you're young, competitiveness when you're an adult, and craving in old age. Mengzi talked about cultivating Qi and therefore extending to connect with the entire world. And Chuangzi talked about Qi accumulates and there is life, and it dissipates and there is death. And he also talked about connecting via Qi, the life-giving force generated by the interaction of heaven and earth. Where does it come from? Well, we have heavenly Qi from the air, and this adds to Gu Qi or grain Qi from food, and it's acted upon by the essence, the Yuan Qi, which acts as a catalyst from the Jing. Therefore, how we breathe and what we and how we eat has a huge effect on our Qi. So it's worth considering what Qi isn't, because a lot of nonsense gets talked. So Qi isn't some sort of missing subtle energy from the scientific view. This is using Jing, Qi, Shen to understand the human body is a completely different map. And we need to think of them like an ordnance survey map and a road map. They serve different purposes and are used for different things. Now, have to remember that the map isn't the territory, whether you're talking about science or Taoist philosophy. A pseudo-scientific term, as it says on Wikipedia. Pseudo-scientific assumes that it's sort of misleadingly claiming to be scientific. It's making no claims to be scientific. It predates the scientific method by at least 2,000 years. So I think that's quite insulting to see it in those terms. Something that can be channeled out of the body to knock people over. Qi and blood are tied up with each other in Chinese medicine. Qi kind of commands the blood, and blood is the mother of Qi. They're like yin and yang, so you always have the two together. So you can't squirt your Qi out of your body any more than you can squirt your blood out of your body. What does the Qi do in Chinese medicine terms? It's basically function without form. So you see the action of Qi through its transformational effects. So it's essentially yang function to the yin form of the blood and the body fluids. Its traditional functions are transforming, transporting, holding, raising, warming and protecting the body. We can essentially say that living is the process of Jing or essence being transformed into Shen or spirit through the interaction of Qi. One way this is understood in Chinese medicine is that the Zheng Qi is the true Qi. It's like the immune system keeping pathogens and elements out of our system, whereas the Xie Qi is the pathogen or the climate trying to get into our systems. Another way of seeing this is that there's the Ying Qi, which is more yang, and the blood, which is more yin, that flows through the blood vessels and through the channels. So in terms of heaven, earth and man, Qi relates to the man level of existence, related to the emotions. And a smooth flow of Qi means the smooth and appropriate flow of emotions, means that the emotions come when they should come. If the Qi becomes blocked, knotted, rebellious, doesn't move smoothly, then we experience blocked, erratic or unpleasant emotions. So in the Suen Simple Questions that was written around 200 BC, it talked about the effect of different emotions on the qi, specifically that anger makes the qi rise, worry knots the qi, fear and anxiety descend the qi, loss and grief dissolve the qi, joy slows or relaxes the qi, and shock scatters the qi. There isn't one type of qi in Chinese medicine. There are lots of different types, and it's used to describe different functions. So we have channel qi that flows through the acupuncture channels. We have the organ qi that runs through each of the different organs and performs its functions. We have yuan qi connected to the jing. We have the yin qi that does the nourishing. We have wei qi that protects on the level of the skin and the mucous membranes. And we have the zong qi, or the gathering qi, the big qi of the chest, that's linked with respiration and circulation. In terms of Tai Chi, Qigong meditation, we can do various things with our qi. First of all, syncing our qi, which partly means breathing down into our lower dantian, breathing deeply, relaxing our bodies, taking our minds down to our dantian, and syncing our qi into the ground, so rooting, being rooted, being connected. We try to circulate our qi like the old J block. So relaxing, qi doesn't flow so well through tight muscles, so keeping relaxed helps our qi to circulate. Stretching, being supple, means that our muscles and joints are loose and qi can flow through them. Moving as a whole unit, moving in unity, helps to relax the fascia and the chains of muscles in the body. Correct alignment both of the spine and of the body optimizes the flow of qi. So all of these things we can do to help improve the flow of qi through our bodies. And releasing blockage, if we can be relaxed, move as a whole unit, be supple, be properly aligned, then any blockages of qi that can happen either physically or emotionally can be released. Finally, experiencing our qi. So in one way we could say just greater awareness and acceptance of our bodies. Being in our bodies is to be aware of our qi, or to take our mind down to our breathing is to be aware of our qi. And also the qi follows the intent. So when we focus our minds on a part of our body, we can bring the qi to that part of the body, and that in turn can bring the blood. So if our qi follows our awareness, our intent, we can experience qi as like movement, as flow, as increased sensation, buzzing, tingling, vibrating. These are things that you might get in standing meditation or sitting meditation. On a gross level, you experience your qi as increased circulation. So your heart rate goes up, your breathing goes up, you sweat, you create heat. And in the subtle, you might notice relaxation, more emotional stability, or release of emotions as you smooth your qi. Thanks for listening.